Marcia. Please rise.
Good morning, everyone. Let us begin an attitude of prayer. Almighty Creator, we come this morning and say thank you for life, for health, and for strength. Thank you for the mayor, each city leader, all staff members, and city council. Lord, we thank you for this morning. It's a rainy morning, but we thank you for the shower of blessings. We ask that you give this city council wisdom and knowledge for today's decision. We thank you for always providing Wichita to be a great place to live, a great place to do business. So we ask your blessings upon every business owner, small and great. Guide this meeting for the rest of the time. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Haney. I'd also like to acknowledge that Mayor Wu is in Paris, France, roughing it. So she's working hard for the city, so we appreciate that. At this time, if we have any changes to the minutes from last meeting, for meeting June 10th, changes, hearing none, I will move to approve the regular meeting minutes from June 10th.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Clerk, please put the vote up. Motion passes 6-0. Proclamations, World Refugee Day, or clerk, do you say that? Yeah. You say that. I'll let you say that.
Proclamations World Refugee Day, and the award this week is the Mini-MPA certificates.
Today we have a proclamation which is pretty special to me because when the Vietnam War ended, my family, my mother and father sponsored a family from Vietnam that came here. So I got to experience that for many years. So with that, a proclamation of the city of Wichita, Kansas, founded in 1870, whereas World Refugee Day is observed globally on June 20th each year to honor the courage, strength, and resilience of refugees around the world who have been forced to flee their homes due to conflict, persecution, or natural disasters. And whereas the city of Wichita proudly recognizes the invaluable contributions of refugees in the social, cultural, and economic fabric of our community. Wichita has welcomed 2,636 traditional refugees from countries around the globe in recent years, offering them a safe place to rebuild their lives and opportunity to thrive. And whereas these individuals and families have enriched Wichita through their talents, traditions, and perseverance, becoming business owners, students, workers, and neighbors who enhance the strength and diversity of our city. Organizations, community partners, and residents throughout Wichita have worked together to provide support, resources, and a welcoming environment to help refugees transition and succeed. And whereas World Refugee Day provides an opportunity to raise awareness about the global refugee crisis, celebrate the achievements of refugees in our community, and reaffirm our commitment to compassion, inclusion, and human dignity. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Wichita City Council does hereby proclaim June 20th, 2025 as World Refugee Day in the city of Wichita, and encourage all residents to honor and celebrate the strength and contributions of refugees in our community, and continue working towards a welcoming and inclusive city for all. May I have the representatives please come forward? Thank you.
حيث أن هؤلاء الأفراد والعائلات قد أضافوا قيمة إلى مدينة ويتشتا من خلال مواهبهم وتقاليدهم ومثابرتهم، فأصبحوا مالكي أعمال وطلاباً وعمالاً وجيرانا يعززون قوة مدينتنا وتنوعها. وقد عملت المنظمات والشركاء المجتمعيون والمقيمون في ويتشتا معاً لتقديم الدعم والموارد وخلق بيئة ترحيبية لمساعدة اللاجئين خلال فترة انتقالهم ولتمكينهم من النجاح. يوفر اليوم العالمي للاجئين فرصة لزيادة الوعي حول أزمة اللاجئين العالمية والاحتفال بإنجازات اللاجئين في مجتمعنا وتجديد التزامنا بالرحمة والشمولية وكرامة الإنسان. وعليه وعملاً بذلك قرر مجلس مدينة ويتشتا بموجب هذا أن يكون يوم 20 يونيو 2025 هو اليوم العالمي للاجئين في مدينة ويتشتا، ويشجع جميع المقيمين على تكريم قوة ومساهمة اللاجئين في mujtama'ina والاحتفاء بهم ومواصلة العمل نحوه لإقامة مدينة ترحيبية وشاملة للجميع. Thank you.
Thank you, Aya, for reading that in Arabic. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the International Rescue Committee and the refugee community, I want to thank the City Council and the Mayor for recognizing World Refugee Day. This proclamation is more than a gesture. It's a statement that Wichita stands with those who have been forcibly displaced from their homes in search of safety, freedom, and a better life. Today, over 114 million people around the world have been displaced due to conflict, persecution, and natural disaster. Among them, about 35 million are recognized as refugees. These are mothers, fathers, children, families, their neighbors or students or co-workers. World Refugee is a time to honor their resilience. It's a reminder that every person deserves safety, dignity, and the opportunity to rebuild their lives. Their presence makes our community stronger, more diverse, and more compassionate. Thank you for standing with us. Together, we can continue to create a place where all people, no matter where they come from, can truly call Wichita their home. Thank you.
At this time, would the graduates from the Mini-MPA program please come forward? Y'all do that. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Good morning, fellow city council members, esteemed faculty of the Hugo Wall School, supervisors, and the Mini-MPA graduating class of 2025. Today marks a significant milestone in your life, a milestone that the Mini-MPA program has played a crucial role in. You have stayed the course, attended the classes, and celebrating the completion of the program. As the Vice Mayor, I am thrilled to stand here on behalf of the Mayor to celebrate this momentous occasion with all of you. Today is not just a day of celebration, but a day of gratitude. We are grateful for your hard work, your resilience, and for being great ambassadors of the city of Wichita. I encourage you to use the knowledge and the tools you have learned from the program to contribute to our community and beyond. You have the potential to make a significant difference. We trust in your ability to do so. Remember that it's not just about making a living, it's about making a life filled with service, passion, and purpose. Our community eagerly awaits your contributions, your leadership, and your success. We are proud of you today and every day and look forward to the positive impact you will make. Congratulations to you all, and thank you. I'd like to bring up the director now. Say a few words.
Good morning. On behalf of the Hugo Wall School, I want to thank the Wichita City Council, Mayor Wu, for having us here today to recognize some outstanding public servants that are enabling and serving our communities in such extraordinary ways. We are so proud of these students and the accomplishments that they have made, and we know that the city of Wichita and our greater communities are going to benefit from their public service for years to come. Thank you so much.
Yes, as we call each student to come up, take their plug and with a handshake.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
You can do that.
Laura Quick. Oh. Yes. Nate Johnson. Jose Ocadis. Christopher Chad Mounds. Catherine Eddy. Locke Trung. Shayna Wakentine. William Dugan. Molly Swatwood. And Luke Stolz. I just want to use this opportunity to say thank you to the mayor, to the city manager, who also takes classes for the Hugo Wall School. Thank you so much, and thank you for all the support that you provide the school. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Clerk, will you please call the next item?
Public agenda. The public agenda allows for up to 5 speakers to have 5 minutes each to address the council. No action will be taken relative to items on the public agenda other than referral to the city manager for information as necessary. Speakers will please state their names and address for the record. A time clock will display the speaker's remaining time to speak. Order and rules of decorum will be observed. The first speaker is George Theo Harris. Rocket science, it's not.
Boy, was that good timing.
Yeah, how about that?
My notes got a little soaked. All right, Mayor, Acting Mayor, City Council, City Manager, City Legal, City Council, all right. I just wish the city would listen and work with me because at 68 years old and doing this neighborhood association work for 26 years, I have seen and know a thing or two. One time, they didn't listen and wasted $100,000 of Hyatt money to prove if you take 2 nickels, you have 10 cents. Meaning, MABCD proved if you took 6.5 neighborhoods and had the inspectors be proactive, you would get those violations worked in a timelier manner. Not rocket science. Where have we gone with that finding? Nowhere, so a waste of money. Back in July of 2015, the city manager started the Animal Advisory Board to buffer the city council from citizens and rescues and help advise on animal-related issues. They put an even number on the board in 2016, and there have been 4-4 votes. I have worked diligently to get that resolved. I have been to every single one of the meetings. Early COVID months, it was on live video streaming. I was on the Dangerous Dog Subcommittee, worked with the post office on dog bites to carriers, and begged Mike Holheisel to appoint me to the Animal Advisory Board as my 8 years on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Board was 2 years from nearing its end. He told me, no drama. I repeat, no drama. You're right. That is my middle name, by the way. When Becky's number 2 trotted out 8 cats in everyone's backyard, I knew I had to get changes to the board fast and worked diligently to that end. Luckily, the DAB saw through that bizarre thought. I grew up with cats, but wouldn't want any and all neighbors to have up to 8 cats in their backyards, for in the end, they would roam in everyone else's yards also. DAB smartly voted it down, 4.5 to 1.5. Not rocket science. We have been plagued by kids and young adults riding our neighborhoods for years, and it's getting worse as the broken window theory is alive and well. As my shirt spells out, I am the president of 3 neighborhoods, 6,000 plus strong, Mead, Grandview Heights, and Meadowlark, where Mike Holheisel resides. We have been telling the police where these bikes are originating from, as they aren't allowed to chase them. We have taken the chase out of the equation, as they know exactly where they are. These small motorcycles were observed by Mike Holheisel as we talked in my driveway. Police don't trust me. Fine. But when they don't believe our city officials, then what is the current state of our city in police dynamic? After all, it's state law, not rocket science. More on this subject. Well, Beth couldn't make it. She couldn't get out of her garage either. And Claude, we want Chet Pinkston back. Now you might wonder, what is going on with my bandage? As you can see on this side of the face, I have a small growth. I know there is a large growth on the top of my shoulders, but please allow me to be the funny guy. But if this bandage area was treated earlier, it would have been resolved very inexpensively. But no, it was put off, and now it's going to cost a lot to remedy this. Much like the alley behind New Way on East Harry. If MABCD would have done their job when we put in reports early on to have their broken portal, the taxpayers wouldn't have had to had Public Works or whoever with the city come in and clear out the homeless encampment there. After all, This wasn't Biden funny money. It was real dollars wasted. John Gurman, an inspector, never would have let this happen to our alley. We want him back. Once again, not rocket science. Thank you.
George?
The next speaker is Beth Rush, three-wheelers and motorbikes.
She couldn't get out of her garage.
Next speaker.
Claude Hettener, three-wheelers and motorbikes.
I'm not an accomplished public speaker. I've lived in the Meade neighborhood for 62 years, and we're coming here for help and guidance. We need to do something about the mini bikes, the scooters, the four-wheelers that are driving up and down the city streets with no regard for anybody else or for any traffic rules. They come and go all times of the day, even after dark, and these vehicles are not licensed. They have no lights on them, and they're kids, young teenagers, preteens, and they even have children that are 5 and under riding on these same vehicles. The police department says they can't chase them. They're not allowed to because there's no ordinance that covers it. So we're asking for the safety of these kids, because there's a tremendous amount of traffic down there, and with the cars parked on the street, with the limited visibility of these low vehicles, somebody's going to get killed before long. There's already been wrecks involved with these type vehicles, but it's getting worse. And as school is out, the traffic has increased considerably with these motorbikes. The police department has spoken to one set of these parents, because we've called them in several times, but it has done no good. So we're asking for your help trying to get some ordinances passed so that we can control these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Claude. We have a couple openings. Oh, excuse me. Councilman Glasscock.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Mr. Manager, regarding ordinances, I'm just not familiar with what our ordinances are regarding motorbikes. Do we have ordinances? Is it an ordinance or is it an enforcement question? Must be legal.
Yeah, Jan Jarman's been.
Yeah, Jan Jarman is here, and she's been working on this project with Councilperson Hoheisel, so I'm going to serve her up, and she can answer your questions.
Good morning. We do have some ordinances that will address this. We do have an ordinance that bans ATVs. We have ordinances that ban toys, and I think pocket bikes could probably be considered a toy. There are there are state statutes on work utility vehicles, which look like ATVs, but they have flat seats, you don't straddle it. So there are some that are just state statutes, which our police can't charge in municipal court. So there are some improvements we could make there. One thing that I've been working on is a guidebook, because the ordinances are all over the place and the state law is all over the place. I've been working, and this is an issue that all communities are dealing with. I'm created a guidebook to give to WPD so they'll know exactly what they can charge when they are running into these vehicles. I know that other people say, I know George mentioned that he wishes Pinkston was back because he sent around what Liberal put out this, you can't drive these pocket bikes. but they don't have any ordinances. There's a state law, just like what we have. So they don't have any extra enforcement. They just sent out a notification, which we can send out notifications and we can do some public education. But as far as ordinances, we have about half of what we probably need.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Ballard.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Jan, thank you. I get lots of complaints about the big ditch and kind of heading out towards Valley Center around 35th and Arkansas. Do you suggest that people still call them in? I know people get really frustrated. What is your suggestion, or maybe it's a question for police, what the best response to give people? Certainly by the time they get there, they're likely gone. I know also out at Alice Wall Park where we planted about 700 trees. I think it's really fun to go, out there too. So I know it happens all over the city. I just want to make sure that we are all on the same page about what the best way to handle it would be.
I was just talking with one of the captains about the big ditch. They are definitely aware of it. And in fact, he mentioned that the huge increase in these non-conforming vehicles. It seems like there's more this year than there's ever been. And about the big ditch, it is a trespass, and I've written a little paper on it that I've given to WPD on how to charge it, but it's exactly what you said. By the time they get out there, they don't have vehicles that can get them into the ditch. So if they can catch people going in or coming out, it's a prosecutable offense. The problem is they can't drive down the ditch looking for people.
I've also noticed people on the bike path, like along the river, more and more, like fairly big four-wheelers, and I'm like, what are you doing? But, like I said, they go so fast, and by the time, we called it in, but I don't know if it's also one of the things where we just can't assume that someone else turned it in, and we don't know that it's a problem until, we have 10 calls at.
I think people needed to keep calling it in. WPD knows this is a problem, and I think they are committed to doing something. I think this paper that I've written that will help them know exactly what ordinances to use will help, but it's on everyone's radar.
Is there any way that, I'm sure you guys have already thought of all of these things, but is there any way for the county to help at all? I mean, since it's getting close to, Wichita city limits.
There is, if it's our ditch, if it's in city limits, we have to do it.
Okay.
Because I have spoken with them before about the ditch issue, which is why I kind of wrote the guidelines on how we're to do the ditch. They'll help. I mean, if it's on the outskirts, if it's close, I think they would respond. But if it's in city limits, it's our.
Okay.
We need to deal with it.
Appreciate it.
Councilman Hoheisel.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Thank you to the speakers. Claude, you did great. I know it's a little nerve-wracking getting up there for the first time, but you really did a good job. In regards to the portal, I do believe that we are out right now for going to a new method of reporting. I think the portal is a little outdated, so just putting that out there. In regards to the dirt bikes and toys and ATVs and whatnot, you had like 14 different classifications on there. I think it would be helpful if, I know the document's not done yet, but sharing that with the rest of council, and then also coming up with solutions on what ordinances we do need to file, at least to be within what matching what the state does in conformance with the state. Beyond that, I do think that it's worth a conversation as to what we ourselves want to tighten up here inside the city of Wichita. So I do look forward to seeing that finished document. I've seen the preliminary one, and like I said, it's like 14 different things, and this one, it was really interesting to see kind of what people on Rascals can and can't do. So that one was pretty interesting, but yeah, I look forward to continuing to work on this one and working with WPD to address these, because it is an issue in and around that neighborhood and that park as well. So yeah, we'll keep working on it. Thanks, Jan.
Thank you. We do have a couple of spots open if anybody'd like to come and speak for up to 5 minutes. Seeing none, we will continue. Clerk, will you please call the next item?
Consent agenda items 1 through 12.
Are there any adjustments or corrections to any of the items? Anybody like to pull any of the items? Councilman Ballard.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to pull 4A, please.
Any other items to be pulled? Okay, with that, we will start with 4A. Councilman Ballard. Let's back up a little bit. Thank you. Got the veteran to my right helping me here. With that, we'll move to approve the consent items with the exception of 4A.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Mr. Clerk, please post a vote. Motion passes 6-0. Now we'll go back to 4A and Councilman Ballard.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to call up Jerry to answer a couple questions. There has been some questions from a constituent just about the process. If you could speak a little bit to the background a little bit of this, and
Yes.
then why it was suggested to move the fence. And
Yes, most certainly. So at the property at 2501 North Hoover, which is 4A, a temporary construction easement is needed at this property. This easement, there's a lot of grading work that needs to occur here for the road project and for drainage purposes as well. There is a perimeter fence around the property, a chain link fence now with a gate over the driveway. The project requires that the property owner remove the fence, and then they have the option to reinstall the fence, of course, at the cost of the project. They have a small child at the premises as well, so they've asked that a temporary fence also be reinstalled. So the fencing estimate was procured, and we looked at utilizing as much as the material as possible for the temporary fence, but not all material can be reused. So the bid for the fencing estimate on this property does include the reinstallation and the temporary fence.
And is that unusual to have to put up a temporary fence, or is this kind of just specific to this project?
No, it is not common, but it's not unusual, if that answers your question.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Seeing no questions, Councilman Ballard, would you like to move to approve this?
Sure. I move to approve the recommended action, approve acquisition, and approve the budget.
I'll second it. Been a motion and a second. Mr. Clerk, please have the vote. Motion passes 6-0.
Vice Mayor, I was running so late because of the water and stuff. I just have to hand something off to you guys. I didn't have a
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Please call the next item.
Board of Bids and Contracts dated June 16, 2025.
Morning. Vice Mayor, City Council, Josh Slauber, Department of Finance. Board of Bids and Contracts convened June 16, 2025 for the following items. For engineering, we have the water distribution system paving to serve Buffalo Pines Addition Tide, recommending rejection of all bids. We have the water distribution sanitary sewer improvements to serve Clear Creek, 3rd and 4th Edition Phase 8 Tide, rejecting all bids. For purchasing, we have the 16,000 gross vehicle weight single cab dual wheel tire repair truck with service body for One Nation Distribution LLC for $79,898. We have the renovation of Wichita Police Department facility for Keeler Construction for an aggregate bid total of $232,482. We have the stormwater pump maintenance contract for FTC Equipment LLC for an estimated annual usage of $42,580 for 1 year with 4 1 years to renew. We have the 58,000 gross vehicle weight restriction dump truck for Area Contracting Sales and Service Incorporated for $181,771.83. We have the meter box rings, lids, and risers foreign made for Mountain Land Supply Company for $452,195 for 1 year. We have the one Bobcat Model T76 compact track loader for Doosan Bobcat North America Incorporated for $87,737.19. We have the Riskmaster software subscription Assure Insights analytical reporting tool upgrade for CSC Cybertech Corporation doing business as Computer Sciences Corporation for an implementation of $18,250, an annual fee of $10,840 for auto renewal so long as the parties maintain an active order. We have the Cortico Law Enforcement Wellness App renewal for Lexipol LLC for a 5-year aggregate total of $175,000. And for airport, we have the one regenerative air system sweeper for MMP Business Associates doing business as Armor Equipment for $375,270. This is how to become a vendor with the city. This is a purchasing calendar of small business events that the city is hosting or participating in. And these are open public opportunities out on the street today. I'd be happy to try to answer your questions and recommend your approval.
Any questions for council? Seeing none, I move that we accept the bids.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Clerk, please call the next item.
Petitions for public improvements.
Good morning, Vice Mayor, council members. Paul Gunsman for the record. I have one location of new petitions for your consideration this morning. The signatures on the petitions represent 100% of the improvement districts, and the petitions are valid per Kansas statute. Courtyards at Jacobs Farm, second edition, that is located in District 5. The projects will provide multiple phases for water, drainage, sewer, and paving improvements required for a new residential development. And it is recommended that the City Council approve the new petitions, adopt the new resolutions, and authorize the necessary signatures, and I will stand for questions.
Thank you, Paul. Any questions for Paul? Okay, seeing none, that I move we approve the project budget increase. No, I move that we approve. Thank you. I recommend we approve the new petitions, adopt the resolutions, and authorize the necessary signatures.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. Clerk, please publish the vote. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Clerk, please call the next item.
Ordinance amending sections 5.12.020 and 5.12030 of the Code of the City of Wichita relating to unauthorized operation or removal of a motor vehicle.
Good morning. Sharon Dickroff, City Law Department. As a little background, the theft of motor vehicles continues to rise in Wichita. In 2023, approximately 2,300 motor vehicles were stolen. In 2024, not quite 2,700 motor vehicles were stolen. Currently, a number of those cases are charged in municipal court as misdemeanors, and they're charged under the temporary deprivation of a motor vehicle. This charge requires that the individual have the intent to actually return the vehicle, and in many cases, that's a fact that the prosecutor simply cannot prove. Additionally, the Wichita Police Department has seen an increase in vehicles being towed from private property by unlicensed and unmarked tow vehicles without the property owner's knowledge or consent. The proposed ordinance strives to eliminate those things from occurring. The ordinance would clarify that the owner or lien holder or operator must give permission to someone to operate or move the vehicle. This is to hopefully address situations where the car is borrowed from a thief and then they let someone else borrow their car. So if you don't have the permission to move the vehicle from the owner or the person in control, that would be prohibited under this ordinance. It would also allow the police department some additional tools to address these unauthorized tows of motor vehicles. The penalties mirror those of the temporary deprivation of a motor vehicle with a jail sentence of 30 days in jail and a $100 fine for the first offense, and then those penalties are graduated. WPD is supportive of these amendments. It's recommended that the City Council approve the proposed ordinance, place it on first reading, and authorize all necessary signatures. And I would stand for any questions.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson.
Thanks, Vice Mayor. Just one technical question. How do you prove that you have permission?
The owner would be the person who would say whether I gave you permission or did not have permission.
Okay. I was just thinking through, because sometimes there's an argument, verbal, where maybe the owner then says they take back their word on giving permission. So is there any recommendation of like having that in writing?
Certainly that would be preferred. At that point, it's going to be a factual issue for the court to determine what permission was or wasn't given. We haven't taken that next step to give permission, written permission, because in many cases, I may give my son permission to borrow my car. I'm not going to write a permission slip for him to use the car. So oral permission would be acceptable, and then it would just be a fact issue for the court as to whether or not somehow that permission had been revoked, or whether it had been given at all.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we should put it in the ordinance. I was just thinking through the conflicts that may come from that.
Yeah.
Councilman Glasscock.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Regarding Section 2 of the actual ordinance language, is it just a bracket between $100 for the minimum charge and then $1,000 for the maximum?
Yes, and then the judge can sentence anywhere within those ranges.
Thank you.
Councilman Hoheisel. Took it off. Okay. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you.
Seeing no other questions, I will move that we approve the ordinance. Of course. Is there anyone who'd like to come and speak on this item? Okay. Seeing none, I'd like to approve the ordinance, place the ordinance on first reading and authorize the necessary signatures.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk, please publish the vote. Motion passes 6-0. Mr. Clerk, next item, please.
Creation of Section 11.38.215 of the Code of the City of Wichita requiring motorists to move over for vehicles with hazard or caution lights activated.
Good morning, Jan Jarman with the City Law Department. I'm here to tell you about a law that passed this year and from our legislature, and we're seeking to make that a city ordinance as well. And this one looks pretty much the same. They've been seeking this law for some time now, and now if you have a disabled vehicle on the side of the road, drivers will have to yield to those vehicles as well. In order to write tickets here in Wichita, we would need a city ordinance to do that. Having the state law would not be enough, so we're asking this body to mirror the state law and create a city ordinance. And the rule will be that upon approaching a stopped, standing, or parked vehicle that is displaying a warning signal, lamp, hazard lights, or any kind of caution signals, that if it's a 2-lane, 4-lane road, you would need to move to the next lane over if it's possible. If it's not possible because of traffic, or if you're just on a single lane going in that direction, you would have to slow your vehicle for safety purposes. So it'll look just like the yielding to a law enforcement, but it'll now apply to all vehicles that are stalled on the side of the road. It would just be a ticket, punishable by a fine up to $500, which looks like all of our other traffic violations. It would be something where the judge would set the fine and it could be paid at the window if the person didn't want to contest it. And of course, if they did want to contest it, then you could take it to court. And I have WPD here with me, Captain Rakestraw, and they are in support of this ordinance. And I would ask this body to authorize signatures, and I stand open for questions.
Any questions for Jan? Seeing none, I will open it for a public comment. If anybody'd like to come speak on this item. Seeing none, I will move that we place the ordinance on a first reading and authorize the necessary signatures.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. Clerk, please publish the vote. Motion carries 6-0. Any council member appointments or comments? Councilman Ballard.
We're on appointments, right? We're on appointments?
We can do appointments, sure.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to appoint Aaron Cicito Rodante to the CDBG board.
Councilman Tuttle?
Thank you. I don't have an appointment. I have a comment. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second, Councilman Ballard's appointments.
Okay. There's been a motion and a second for appointments. Please publish the vote. Motion passes 6-0. Now we'll go for comments. And we'll start with Councilman Tuttle.
Thank you. I just wanted to give a shout out, certainly other departments as well, but this is something I saw this morning on the way here. I was driving down Central and there were several branches down, but there were also a couple trees and they were blocking traffic. And I could see the limbs, but there were cars in front of me. And as I got closer, there's our park and rec team. And they have their truck, they have the cones, they have lights, and it really just, and it's pouring down rain. And I'm sure they saved other motorists from potentially, you know, driving into the tree or whatever. But, and as I mentioned, I'm sure there are other departments that are out there doing great work this morning too, but that's just one I saw. And we don't often highlight the great work that our city staff does enough. So I did send Reggie an email and ask that he praise his team who were out there dealing with the elements today so that we could all get where we need to go this morning. So just a shout out again to Park and Rec. I'm a raving fan.
Councilmember, thank you so much for that. And if I could add 3 other departments that I know are working really hard right now, Public Works and Utilities, our fire department and our police department, all dealing with the flash flood issues that are created by today's storms.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson.
Thanks, Mayor. The manager and Councilmember Tuttle stole my notes, so I won't say that. I will just say ditto. And also just an encouragement for people to turn around, don't drown. If you see running water, just turn around and go another way, even if it takes longer. Safer for you, and our teams of folks that are out there can go help other folks. So please turn around, don't drive through streams.
Thank you, and thanks for promoting me to mayor. I appreciate that, but I'm going to decline it respectively. You see, I'm struggling anyway. So, Councilman Hoheisel.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. And I'd like to just pile on with the compliments. Last week or 2 weeks ago at the Clap Park, we had major damage and we had Public Works and Parks and Rec out there busting their butts to clean it up beforehand. So they've been battered here the last couple of weeks with the storms and flooding we've had, but they do a great job getting out there. Same thing with fire and PD. I heard a number of them going out on my way to work today. So I thank them for that. And also PD, this last weekend we had so many things going on at the same time between music festivals and automobilia and a couple of protests. And I've heard nothing but great things from people who are out there on the streets as far as their interactions with PD. So I really think it speaks to the professionalism that our department has and is absolutely focusing on. And then just last thing, a little plug, my district breakfast got moved to this Saturday. So at 9:30 at the Christian Faith Center, Commissioner Howell is my guest. He'll be talking about property taxes. So I encourage people to come out for that conversation. And again, the best breakfast in Wichita. I don't care what District 5 and District 1 has to say about that one. It's the best. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Tuttle.
I was just going to ask, could you repeat, Councilmember Holeisel, what time and where is your breakfast?
9:30 in the morning at the Christian Faith Center off of Hillside and Pawnee.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, we would normally recess in record time here. However, we do have an executive session. I move that the City Council recess into executive session for 25 minutes to receive information on regulatory agency action pursuant to KSA 75-4319B2 for the legal consultation with the city attorney, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship for the purpose of legal advice. The executive session is also required to protect attorney-client privilege in the public interest. We will begin this at 9:55 and come back at 10:20.
I will second that and just ask that we note in the minutes that the vice mayor had a record short meeting.
Please point that out to the mayor when she returns. There's been a motion and a second. Motion passes 6-0. We'll return it at 20 minutes after 10.